Hey everybody, welcome back to the Build Show Network. I'm Steve Bazek. We're outside here at the ranch remodel today. We're going to talk a little bit, walk around, see what's happening on the outside here. You can see we have this pretty extensive deck system that's being installed behind me. We have our Ipe decking material. It's a South American hardwood. We have deck boxes made out of the same Ipe there, you can see, made up. Now, these deck boxes run the length of the deck, and what they really are is they're a future herb garden for the client. So she's going to use these to grow various herbs and stuff for her cooking. They're both great cooks, and this will give them that opportunity. It'll have a nice aroma here just outside the kitchen. That green will offer a nice kind of vegetative soft look to all the hard edges of the deck. And the other thing to notice is we have those rails coming out, that these rails are going to come up, and you can see here we have the structural posts are in place and they're already pre-drilled. We have a Feeney cable wire system going through here, and notice that this is up above. Well, this has already been pre-planned so that once we put the deck top on, these last two Feeney cables, they're going to be completed and they're going to go around the deck box as we have posts that get integrated into the deck box system. Now, each of these structural posts here will have a sleeve that slides over the top, and then you notice we have some space here. Well, we have some 1-bys that run here under a beautiful rail, and then we're going to have some undermount lighting here, which will be down lighting to kind of accentuate the cables for a nighttime view. We have a Versatex wrap on the outside of the deck framing here. We completed it. I actually called for all the columns. It gives a nice finished look rather than just having that treated 6x6 look down there. Gives us that nice finished look down the deck. You can see we have these all stamped out, covered up. You can see here's our wire for our lighting that we're going to be plugging in. The gentleman just poured these pier foundations. Our stair system is going to come down. We're going to have a slab and then have a nice piece of granite here that takes us out to the landscape plan. You can see here, you get a nice view of that Ipe deck. You know, one of the things that we chose to do that was intentional, you can see here, we have this margin board that runs the length down this side of the decking system. Well, that was intentional. The reason for it is that we get full length boards on this side and we get full length boards on that side with minimal waste, but more importantly, we have no intermediate joints. Every one of these deck boards is a full length piece, and every one of those deck boards is a full length piece. So, you know, that proper planning, minimize some waste, enhance the aesthetics, but also enhance the durability so we don't have any of those joints kind of wanting to whip up later in life, that we just have singular boards in there. Let's go around here. We have a mock-up of that cable system that I talked about earlier. Notice we also have this deck box, the smaller one here. As I go through here, I remember the inside of the deck box here, we're going to line it with Curdy board. Curdy board's typically like a tile backer board, but we want to make sure that whatever we put that soil in, it doesn't have any chemicals or anything in it that can leach out into the herbs and the stuff that we're gardening there. So we went with the Curdy board. It's a waterproof board. We're going to have a couple drains in each of these boxes that simply just leach out the water out the bottom should it rain and the ground gets saturated. There's a place for that water to go. But again, we want to make sure that you're just not putting that garden up against treated lumber or treated plywood, that there's some inert material that we're putting that soil against. So over here, you'll notice we have a couple posts relatively close together. We have another pair here. These actually have the Ipe wrap on them. These are all glued up. We'll get that all cleaned up here when we're finished, but you can see we initially have that cable, did a little mock-up here, and I don't know if you can see up here, but on the underside here, you can see my fingers disappear a little. Well, there's that recess. So we have that electrical wire coming up. we're going to have a little LED strip light that runs in these recesses around the deck, and that's going to provide a nice downlight. It's going to sprinkle some nice light across these cables so that when the clients are throwing those kind of dusk evening parties out here, we get that nice soft light sparkling off these beautiful cables, accentuating them, and voila, there you go. That's how we put the deck together. Now, the space here, the reason for these two close is from here to in between that post is we have a custom grilling station. So we're going to jump up on the deck. It's right around the corner from me. We could talk about that, and we could take a look at exactly what that grilling station's all about. Hey, before we get up there and we talk about that grill, I do want to show you one other thing. Just follow me on over here. So we have that big public deck here. It's pretty good. I mean, it's probably to the tune of, I don't know, it's got to be every bit of 400 square feet of space. But over here, one of the client requests, more so the wife client request, was she just wanted a little private deck, something she could come out, have a chair, maybe read her book, have a cup of coffee in the morning, whatever it takes. So we have the door right there that leads directly to the master bedroom. It comes out. She's got her little 10 by 16 foot deck. It'll have a set of stairs come down. We just poured the footings for that this morning there, but it's the same Ipe finish. It's going to have the same cable rail, same Ipe wraps. We wrap the columns down below so everything matches, but you know, this is her own little alcove where she can come quietly and make this her own space. So, all right, now I'm ready. Let's jump up there. We'll go look at that grilling station and we'll talk about what we're doing over there. All right, so we talked about this deck space. You can see we have no rail here. There's no intention. We need something to fill that space. I talked about that custom grilling station. So we had the woodworkers up at Traditional Woodworks that built all of our deck boxes. They actually built this custom grilling station. So you can see it's made out of the same Ipe wood that the decking is made out of. We have the little recessed here. Now this recessed, because we're putting a grill in and this is wood, we had to buy this fireproof apron, which is basically a grill insulator from getting the heat attached to the wood. So there's maybe about 1.5 inch stainless steel pan that goes in here that's fully insulated. It'll sit inside this recess and then the grill sits inside that pan, and we have a bluestone cap that goes around it. We have some modest storage underneath the grill. We have a hard line gas tap, so there's no tank involved here. There'll just be the valve to turn on the gas, turn off the gas. So there's no having to run and get the tanks filled. Over here we just have a couple modest shelves, but the real nice feature of this is on the top here, we're going to have this roll-out drawer that'll roll out from underneath that bluestone cap. And what I called for in the drawer was, in this recess, is we're going to have a hardwood cutting board. And we have some drainage slots there, but I wanted to make it so that you can pull that cutting board out, take it inside, wash it, do whatever you need to do, and then bring it out here for the next time to use it. So we didn't want it to be fixed and just have it as the cutting board coming out. I wanted it as a feature that could be removed so that we can clean it, replace it, do whatever we need to do, but we'll always have this recess there for that cutting board. So this unit here is just simply going to slide over there and fill in that gap. So we'll have our grilling station, we'll have our deck boxes, and you know, it's going to be one deck that's ready for a lot of parties. So until next time on the Build Show, I suggest go back. If you haven't watched some of the previous videos, go check those out. Check out my colleagues, Matt, Jake, Brent, Wade. They're all doing fantastic stuff all around the country, bringing you some really good information that can help out your business, help out your designs, help out your construction sequence, working with the trades, all of that. Choosing the right insulation, choosing the right windows. A lot of information is getting put out there for you guys. Basically, it's a click away. You go to the Build Show Network and all this stuff is at your fingertips. So until next time, thanks for joining us here on the Build Show Network. I'm Steve Baczek. Long live our buildings.